to Beshan TV. It's my pleasure to be in your house or wherever you are watching from. Beshan Youth Organization is an organization registered by the federal government, developing or devoted to youth empowerment. We believe that except today is prepared, tomorrow may never be achieved. So we believe that we need to build the tomorrow today. And Beshan Youth Organization is focused on nurturing the young ones to a situation where they can be confident in the leadership of our great nation for tomorrow. You will appreciate that except you educate, you cannot appreciate the level of ignorance. And once ignorance is made to be the order of the day, ignorance is when you don't understand or know what the situation is and how to approach the issues. And that's why we believe that as adults, we need to educate our younger ones so that the tomorrow we say is their own will really be their own for keeps and not for your destruction. You look at this country today, everybody is saying we are going backwards. And that's because leadership has not been a very bold topic for us as a nation to look at. We at the point we're talking about accidental leadership, and no nation grows with accidental leadership. So that's why we are saying to us in this program, we're going to begin to talk about the different environments and spheres with which the youth will need to focus if they are going to be what we expect them to be tomorrow. But until we equip them with those materials, we cannot blame them for not doing what they should do if they don't know what should be done. And that is the reason why we are coming up with this program, so that we can add our part to the development of the society, because we know that if the society tomorrow is good, then we can have peace. They say, my grandmother used to say to us, if you want to live in peace tomorrow, build the environment today. And there's also the adage that is the way you make your bed that you lie on it. As a nation, we cannot afford to assume that everything will be all right when we have not prepared for it to be all right. That's part of what this program is going to do. So I want to encourage you to keep a date with us, keep your time with us, and we also want to hear your feelings and know your understanding so that you can respond to us. And if you have anything for us to talk about, just send it to us and we'll go and do a research and give you an answer, an option that will make your tomorrow a better one. I want to believe that, one thing I heard that made me very conscious of reading. I do a lot of reading. And that's why I prefer that the background you're seeing me has to do with books. Miles Monroe said, and that people have also said, that if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book. He will not read it. But I'm trying to dispel that notion that we are a people who read, because it is reading that makes leadership. Reading enables you to understand. My late Archbishop said, you don't need to invent a wheel that had already been invented. All you need to do is to look at the wheel and see how it fits into what you are trying to do. And that makes it a little bit easier. Because to try to forge your own wheel takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of resources, and takes a lot of time. But God has already made things better for us. Today the internet is okay for us, but most of the time you need to put together those materials you get from the internet to try to situate it to the country where you are. Because if you just lift an idea from a country and put it to your own, just like the Nigerian Constitution we're talking about, we lifted presidential system of government from the US, transported it to Nigeria, and we didn't try to situate it. And that's why we have a problem today. That the presidential system of government we are doing in Nigeria is very different from what the Americans have. The same thing with us, even in our education. You go to school today and you try to put your things together, they tell you that if you go to America, go to Canada, go to Europe, you have to restart all over. Because as far as they are concerned, you have not gone to school. And we can't afford to do that. We are all built by God with the same intellectual capacity. All we need to do is to develop it. And if we don't develop it by studying, The Bible says to us, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that need not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. By the time we get into the nitty-gritty of the issues as we follow, you begin to see why you need to study, why you need to read wide, and why you need to consult wide, and then be able to situate your own thoughts, and then get your own things together. Nobody can do what you're supposed to do for you. Only you can do it. And I believe that you need to prepare. First of all, he said, ignorance is one of the greatest headaches in human life. But you see, the painful about it is that there are people who don't know, and they don't know that they don't know, and they're not even willing to know what they need to know, and that is pathetic. We cannot. Our nation is going through rough times. Our nation is going through terrible times. We can change the narrative, because all things work together for good. All things, when you make it work. I believe that together, as we go on this journey, we can begin to see that the tomorrow we're talking about will be much more interesting and much more important. I want to encourage you to be my partner in this process. No one knows it all. If you have an idea that you also want to share, please share it with us. We will incorporate it. I need to learn. When you are reading and teaching, you're also learning. And that is what I do a lot. And I will want to encourage you to do that, so that we all can, by the grace of God, build a nation where nobody is oppressed. That's why I like our former national anthem. Even though the new one is good, but the old one gives us a very serious thought. And I believe that only you can decide not to be oppressed, because they say ideas rule the world, not money. And today, the reason why Africa is backward is that we believe so much in money, and we are not encouraging ideas. You can see what happens in our programs, social media, and all of them. While people are projecting Big Brother Africa, voting millions, nobody is talking about academic programs. Nobody is talking about people. We used to have science quiz. We used to have all these programs that enable students to compete with one another. Today is almost absent. Let us learn to educate our people in the right direction. And when we do, we will reap the benefit of it. I want to say thank you very much for listening to this program today. Next program will come up, and I believe that the next program and the subsequent ones will begin to deal with issues one after the other. Until we meet again, I say to you, be responsible, so that you can have a responsibility to keep the nation united and forward-looking for us to enjoy by the grace of God. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.